everyone, and thank you for joining us for the final chapter of Secret in the Woods. When we finished our story last week, Terry had gone home to be with Jesus in heaven. This happened during the night, and in the morning, Philip and Ruth found out the news. Let's continue with our final chapter of Secret in the Woods. When they told me in the morning that Terry had died, I cried bitterly, for I had loved Terry so much. And at the funeral, when they put his body in the ground, it seemed lonely and cold. We were all very sad indeed. After the funeral, I decided I wanted to go for a walk so I could think. I told Aunt Margaret that I was going to go, and she came to the gate with me and gave me a hug and a piece of candy that she hoped would make me feel better. I didn't think about where I was going. I just walked and walked. I kicked the damp leaves and brushed aside the fern. I tried to forget about Terry, but I couldn't forget. When I came to a shady place under a big chestnut tree, I lay down on the ground, and my tears fell thick and fast. "Why, little maid, whatever is the matter?" a voice said. It was Mr. Tandy the shepherd. He stooped down and wrapped his coat around me as though I were one of his lost little lambs. Then he sat down beside me. I was so very thankful to have someone to talk to, and so I told him everything that had happened. I prayed so hard that Terry would get better, and God didn't listen to me because Terry died, I said. "Oh, little girl," replied Mr. Tandy, "if I had a little lamb that was lame and could not run like the others, and if I picked up that little lamb and took him to another pasture where the grass was sweet and he could be in the sweet clover, would you think I was a kind shepherd?" I was beginning to understand. I looked at Mr. Tandy and he continued. "The shepherd took his little lamb home, that's all. You don't have to feel bad, Ruth," he went on. "But," I cried, my eyes filling with tears, "they buried Terry in the earth and we left him there. How can Terry be with Jesus, the Good Shepherd, when we left him in the earth?" The old shepherd picked up a chestnut which had fallen off the tree. He rubbed the old skin which had dried up off the outside and showed me the inside of the chestnut. "The old part," he said, "is no good. There's no life in it. But there's life on the inside. And when we plant this chestnut, it will one day grow into a big, beautiful chestnut tree." "Terry's body is just like the old skin of the chestnut," Mr. Tandy said gently. "It's no good anymore. But the good part inside, that part which we cannot see, that part went to be with the Good Shepherd Jesus. In heaven, Terry will have a new body, one that will run and jump again. He does not need that old body anymore, and so we buried it." It was getting late, and I knew I must get home. I felt quite a bit better now. And as I walked home, I thought of Terry in heaven with Jesus. "Oh, Terry," I thought, "how happy you must be now." Philip came to meet me, and he could tell that I was feeling happier again. "I'm so glad I met the Good Shepherd and that Terry did too," I told Philip. He nodded. "Yes, Ruth, and thank you for telling me about the Good Shepherd, because now, one day, we can all be together in heaven. Us and Terry. Won't that be fun?" That night, as I lay in bed, I thought about my friends at school, and I realized they all need to be found by the Good Shepherd too. And so I decided that I was going to take my picture of the shepherd to school with me so that I could tell my friends at school all about the Good Shepherd. And then I fell asleep, picturing the Good Shepherd, Jesus, welcoming my friend Terry, happy, healthy, and strong, into the land of heaven. So thank you for joining us for Secret in the Woods. I'm glad that Ruth got a little bit of an understanding of the fact that Terry was now happy and healthy in heaven. He got to go to heaven before Philip and Ruth and Aunt Margaret. But one day, because they all had accepted Jesus as their Savior, they would all be together again in heaven. It's the same for us as well. If we've accepted Jesus as our Savior, we don't have to be afraid of dying, because when our body dies, we will go to heaven to be with Jesus. And when our friends and our loved ones or our family members, when they go to heaven before us, it's hard to say goodbye. It's hard to say see you later, but we can be thankful and happy that one day we will all be together again with Jesus in his heavenly home.